I think about the day I picked up the cell phone camera and started recording the activity in this house. I wasn't sure what this was. I assumed this was just a simple haunting by a female in distress.
We're at the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019. These spirits bring up another name, Elizabeth. They also want me to look for a book. And these spirits say things about Abby I left out of the videos because I felt this was inappropriate. But what I didn't know at the time, what these spirits said is information that will confirm what Edmund was involved in. I searched the house looking for the book. During this search, I learned things about the house that answered questions, why sections of this house has different paranormal activity. I also encountered something you'd only see in a nightmare, but this nightmare is a reality. What took place in this house during this long-term investigation, I didn't publicly talk about. It was too dark. But after I learned the secrets what took place in this house, I now know why this activity goes way beyond any dark nightmare. This is their reality, and they want us to know what happened.
There had been a lot of things that happened during the first 2 years of these investigations. Some of these encounters are so dark, and some of the things that these spirits said, I decided not to show them in the videos. Some of the things these spirits say was actually not appropriate content for YouTube. There was a lot of stuff said about children during these investigations that I just felt was inappropriate. Some of the stuff was just so dark. I really didn't want to focus on the dark activity. But I didn't get into this to focus on the dark things. I got into this to focus on humanoid spirits and to try to figure out what this is all about. I can say that I am a major skeptic. Not just with the paranormal, but with a lot of things. I'm the type of person that if I'm going to believe something, I need solid evidence before I believe something to be true. I'm even skeptical about when these spirits say certain things. There's a lot of things that it's hard for me to believe what they say, because they say some stuff that's kind of off the wall, that it's a little hard for me to believe. I need some type of physical evidence to prove to me what they're saying is true. Not just physical evidence, but historical evidence. And evidence can also come in the form of witnesses, people that have knowledge about events. And if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 people that have a lot of knowledge about the same event, and their stories pretty much line up, then to me that's evidence. Multiple spirits are saying certain things about Edmund, about Abby, and other topics that I've encountered. How do I prove what these spirits are saying is fact? I need physical evidence. I need historical facts. And I need witnesses. Unfortunately, most of these spirits that I encounter died over 100 years ago. It's hard, if not impossible, to find an eyewitness who can verify what these spirits say. Information that's been passed down from one generation to the next generation can be distorted. In 2019, the name Elizabeth was coming up a lot, and these spirits wanted me to find a book. It's almost as if these spirits were obsessed with me finding this book. So I do investigations into Elizabeth, and I do investigations into this book, trying to figure out what book are they talking about. I want to ask questions about this book that you guys have been talking about. If you can tell me about the book, Elizabeth, Abby. If you can tell me about the book, Elizabeth, Abby. Or any other thing that's in this house that you guys want me to find. I need you guys to talk to me about it, please. Okay? Hello? I'm back, yes. Can anybody tell me about a book that's in this house? Are you able to tell me what's in this book? Elizabeth, are you here? Elizabeth! What's her last name? Elizabeth? Alright. I just quickly and briefly saw a partial apparition form and disappear really fast right in here. Hello? Hello? I would have swore I saw an apparition in here. I'm going to have to view the recording and see. Anybody have anything to say before I shut this off? Hello? Can you guys tell me about this book? Why do you guys want me to find this book?
We don't.
Sorry about the children, I heard that.
There was, in fact, an Elizabeth Kimball here in Carmel that died in 1898. And it's likely Edmund buried her. She's buried in Ruggles Cemetery. And on January 13, 2019, when I was going over the recordings when I first started the investigation in Elizabeth and the book, my wife gets a phone call from her son Joshua. He was on the phone with my niece, my sister's daughter, and she said that her mother wasn't feeling good and that she had problems breathing. My wife came up and told me that, what was going on. And I said to my wife that she needs to tell Joshua that she needs to call an ambulance if she's having problems breathing. A few minutes later, Joshua contacts his mother, my wife, and said that Donna was lying on the floor, my sister, and she wasn't breathing, and she's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean she's gone? What? I called my niece really quick, and she's on the phone crying. And she said that her mother died. My sister, when she got out of the bed, she was going to brush her teeth because my niece was calling the paramedics. And the moment she stepped out of the bed, she just dropped, and that was it. My sister suddenly, unexpectedly died. I set these investigations aside. I couldn't do these investigations. That was so traumatic what I went through that I couldn't carry on with these investigations. I was in shock, so I had to set everything aside. After some time went by, and I was dealing with the death of my sister, I started up these investigations again into the book, what the spirits had to say about Elizabeth. And the spirits started bringing up Abby quite a bit too during this investigation. In fact, Abby was coming up a lot, even more so, once I started the investigations about the book and about Elizabeth. What can you guys tell me about Elizabeth? About Elizabeth. About Elizabeth. Elizabeth, can you tell me what happened to you? Why are you so desperate for me to find this book? You and Abby. Can't you guys see where this book's at? Can you tell me where it's at? Is it in this house? And if it is in this house, where exactly is it at? When these spirits said the book's behind me, the book was actually behind me. It was sitting on the desk, but unfortunately at that time I didn't realize the book was sitting there behind me. I was expecting to find some ancient old book that would unlock the secrets of this paranormal activity. I mean, I thought there was going to be something major when it came down to the book. That's what I was looking for. That's what my expectations were. And I'm finding it more and more strange when the spirits keep saying, find her head, and the name Abby and the name Edmund comes up. What was even more troubling when they said for me to find a book, and those spirits said they didn't want me to find it, that I could end up dead like them, basically, what they were saying. That raised a lot of questions in my mind. Well, what the hell kind of book is this? I mean, if I can end up dead because of this book, what do they mean? What are they talking about? What I find really strange, when I was back involved with these investigations, exactly 1 month to the date after my sister passes away, I get a call from my brother Mike. Mike says, Ken, I got bad news to tell you. He goes, Dad just passed away last night. My sister died on January 13th. My dad dies on February 13th. This knocked me into a deep depression state of shock. I had to shut the investigations down. I had to set the investigations aside. I was dealing with a double whammy of grief over the death of 2 close family members that I had to deal with. It left me devastated, but I can say, after the death of 2 close family members like that, I had a lot more empathy into listening to these spirits, because these humanoid spirits at one time were somebody's loved ones that died. And they're obviously troubled in the afterlife. And I can only imagine what somebody went through when they lost their loved ones, because their loved ones are in the afterlife troubled. This gave me a desire to see what I can do to solve these mysteries of what they're trying to tell me, even more so. For the first time, I was empathetic with these humanoid spirits. I really wanted to listen to them. I didn't know how to help them, but I figured if I listened to them, maybe I could figure out what they're trying to tell me. Maybe they just need me to know information, and that's the help they want. They want somebody to know something. After I spent some time pulling myself together over the death of family members, eventually I picked back up the investigations again. Now I'm going through the house searching for the book. I want to find this book now. I want to find out what's in this book. What are these spirits trying to tell me that's in this book that's so important? Because it's almost like they're obsessed with me finding this book. Edmund, where's the book? Where's the book, Edmund? You guys want me to find the book? piece of the step. And wow. I'm kind of wondering what's under the floor of these steps. Very old floor. Kind of disappointed here because I really thought, based on the knocking of these steps, there'd be something under here. I mean, there could very well be something under there, but I'm not going any further than this. Whoa. What's this about the book? You guys know anything about a book? Whoa. Alright, that's the second time I've heard a disembodied voice of a female. You're in here, aren't you? Everything these spirits say in these investigations is vital information. They are putting out breadcrumbs. If I follow these breadcrumbs, I believe these breadcrumbs will lead me to the information that what these spirits are trying to tell me. What's this about a book? The book, Elizabeth, Abby? You guys keep asking for help. What do you need help from? Do you guys want me to find that book, or do you want me to leave it alone? What's in it? What's in the book? Elizabeth, I went to Ruggles Cemetery the other day to visit an Elizabeth Kimball that died at the age of 20. Was that you? Are you buried there? Are you buried there?
Elizabeth Kimball died at age 20. She is laid to rest here at Ruggles Cemetery in Carmel. Every time I visit Elizabeth's grave, I always hear her disembodied voice.
Based on what I heard during the Ghost Box session, when I asked where the book was, and they said behind me, I'm going to search the crawl space that was behind me when I was doing that Ghost Box session. Alright, I'm going to turn on the Ghost Box. Alright, guys. Where's the book? You guys are messing with me, aren't you? Is this book dangerous? The contents of it and the meaning behind it, is it dangerous? Don't really see anything. All right. I can't even see what I'm looking at, so what I do is I look down on these crevices and I'll view the recording. I don't see anything in here. I mean, this has been gone through with insulation put in. Once again, during investigation, spirits bring up the book. All this time, these spirits telling me about the book. The book was right under my nose the whole time. I just wasn't listening to them. I wasn't paying attention. I complicated the investigation by looking for some old ancient book. But it was sitting right there, out in the open, right under my nose. Hey. The book, yeah. You guys want to, what do you guys want me to do with that? Why do you want me to find it so bad? One time you said it was on my brown shelf. The only brown shelf that even looks like a shelf is right there. The only books on that shelf is A History of Carmel, Maine, and the Bible. Which book are you talking about?
Carmel? Is there something in that book you want me to find? You're talking about A History of Carmel. This book. What page do you want me to look on? Four? When I finally found the book, and these spirits confirmed that's the book that they wanted me to see, and I saw these two little maps on page 4, I was like, okay, I spent months working on this investigation. I spent all this time searching for this book. And all you want to show me is two little maps on page 4? Are you kidding me? That's it? That's what you want to show me? In some ways, I was kind of annoyed. Because, in my opinion, these two little maps, I mean, okay, what's on these two maps? But there was something that caught my attention on the maps. The book these spirits wanted me to look at, A History of Carmel, page 4, at the top was a map from 1875, the village of Carmel, below a map of Damascus, which is now Carmel today. When I first saw the village of Carmel map, immediately the village triangle came to mind. Then I noticed the name Kimball. This is when I learned Elizabeth Kimball lived right up the road from where the house sits today. In 1875, this house was not on the map. I go into details about the village triangle in the videos, Revelations by Ghosts, and the Southwest Harbor House Part 3. But what I do want to talk about, does this triangle have magical powers based on the way it was designed? I can't answer that. But here's something I do know to be a fact. When rituals are performed, it's not necessarily the physical aspect of the ritual that can cause an effect, but it's the intentions as to why the ritual is performed. The faith one has in the ritual itself will have an effect with spirits or demonic entities. The intentions behind the act will open portals into spirit realms or open doorways into a demonic realm. When someone uses a Ouija board, it's not the physical board itself that causes a response. It's the faith one has in doing the ritual that will get a response. When entities know of your intentions when performing a ritual, they will respond. It may not be this triangle itself that opened a portal, but the ritual, the belief, the intentions behind the design that had an effect. Keep this in mind throughout the rest of these Ghost Chronicles series, because the design of this triangle, the intent behind the ritual, is child's play compared to what Edmund got involved in. I have no doubt the design of this triangle opened a portal into the spirit realms, but this alone did not open a gateway into a demonic realm. Other dark rituals caused this to happen. Was this purposely designed to be a portal?
It didn't work, did it? All it did was open up a doorway, but you couldn't come back, could you? And now you're stuck. Is that what happened? After I learned about the triangle and I gathered information about what this triangle was about, this house changed. The investigations changed. Things started taking more of a dark turn. These investigations were now at a point that I wasn't comfortable with them because of what these spirits were saying. Elizabeth, are you in this house? Hello? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set up the camera down here at the bottom of the steps, see if I can capture any of these sounds. I'll set it right here because this is like the center of the house. Who's making the noise in the house?
Outside of the basement, the stairs and the landing at the top is an area of this house that terrifies me. No words can ever explain the negative feelings you get while walking up these steps. It's not just the apparitions, the strange disembodied voices, or the unexplained sounds that come from these steps. It's the feeling you get something is very, very wrong. And every time I reach the top of these steps in the dark, I can't look at this small door that leads to the crawl space behind my bedroom wall. And I must confess, this crawl space scared the crap out of me. And I didn't know why at the time. You get that feeling, behind that door is pure dark evil. Based on the strange sounds I heard this day, I moved the night vision camera to the top of the steps. At the top of the steps is where the strange sounds were coming from. After uploading the recording from the SD card, I saw that my finger hit the snapshot button on the camera while going up the steps. This, whatever this is, was captured. I look at this closely, but could not explain what this is. However, after enhancing the picture and brightening it up, the only thing that I saw that made sense was an eye looking straight at me. What made this turn into a nightmare is what was captured just a few minutes prior. But this is not an isolated incident. A few months before this was captured, while doing an investigation in the house, this was captured. But this nightmare does not end here.
Now we are going to jump ahead from 2019 into what took place over the past 2 years during these investigations into Abby, Edmund, and what these spirits say about her head.
Where did Abby die?
The person who took Abby's head, did he belong to an organization that collected human remains? What does Abby have to do with this house? I do have to admit, what these spirits said about Abby's head, about it possibly being in this house, I did find it a little far-fetched. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have found bone fragments in the basement. Those spirits were correct about that involving Rachel. We will get into that later in Ghost Chronicles. But a child's head hidden in this house, seriously? That I just couldn't really 100% believe. And in all honesty, I had a lot of doubt. My skepticism kicked in. I mean, who would take a child's head and hide it? I mean, that just didn't sound right to me. And I knew that these spirits said a lot of stuff about Edmund. But at the time, I thought, well, that may have been a little bit too much for Edmund, too. I mean, why would he take some child's head? But the spirits insist on they took her head. And the name Edmund keeps coming up. Recently, while I was working on this chapter of Ghost Chronicles, the activity in this house picked up. There were things going on that was beyond anything I've ever witnessed before. I decided to pull out the equipment and start an investigation. One of the main reasons why I picked up this investigation, again, one night while I was in this bedroom right here, I heard the voice, a loud disembodied voice of a child, and it startled me. And it was close to my head while I was laying in this bed right here. The child said, "Find my head." I was like, that had to have been Abby, because it sounded like her voice. And it's very rare I hear her disembodied voice, but that night her voice was very loud and it was very clear. "Find my head." I pulled out the equipment and I had to investigate this. What does Abby have to do with this house? Did Abby die in this section of the house that I'm standing in right now in the dining room? I'm going to take that as a yes. I'm going to turn the spirit box on. I definitely have some questions. And I hope you can answer these questions, please. What happened to Abby? Does Abby have something to do with this house? Did Edmund Lamb take Abby's head? Where is Abby's head, her skull at right now? Is it in this house? Can you tell me exactly where it's at? Where? Did Edmund purposely open a portal in this house? How did he do this? What the hell was under that crawl space floor that was looking back at me? What was that?
As I'm searching for the book, something was captured that was absolutely terrifying to me.
This has been gone through with insulation put in. I mean, unless...
A small entity was under the floorboard looking right back at me. Then it moves its eye right to the floorboard, as if to get a better look at me. I didn't see this in real time, but I did have a very uneasy feeling in the moment. When I went back and viewed this recording, I was in complete devastated shock. What I saw, I was in total disbelief, but I couldn't deny the fact, no doubt, This was an entity and an eye looking right back at me. During this moment, EVPs were also captured that verified what this was. I mean, this has been gone through with insulation put in. What took place here will just be another piece of the puzzle that will fit together in a later date. On camera and many times off camera, I have witnessed small entities in and outside of this house. In 2018, while investigating Rachel, a small entity was seen jumping out of the pine tree in the front yard. This strange-looking creature looked back at me while it was taking off running. The only description I can give what this looked like is a 3-foot-high Tyrannosaurus. Off camera, I have seen strange-looking creatures appearing in the bedroom. Some of these creatures are only 1 foot in height. I'll see them appear looking right at me. The moment I look back at them, they quickly take off as if not wanting to be seen. But why they are here and why the upstairs bedroom has always been a mystery to me. Until recently. Is Abby's head inside this house? If it's in this house, exactly where is it at? Exactly where is it at? Is Abby's head under this bedroom floor? Huh? Edmund, is Abby's head under the floor in this bedroom? Hope I don't get electrocuted. Is what I'm looking at parts of Abby's skull? What about Abby? What I saw under the bedroom floor is disturbing. The question remains, did I find Abby's head under the spot on the floor in the bedroom? At this time, I cannot say for certain I found Abby's head. Before I publicly make this claim, we need 100% physical confirmation what is under the floor is a human skull. According to these spirits, I found Abby's head. Once we get confirmation what this is under the floor, I will disclose this information. But if this is Abby's head, this does give answers about the strange activity in this bedroom.
What the hell is that thing over there on the other crawl space? What is that?
Off camera, I have seen so many strange anomalies quickly appear and disappear in this bedroom and at the top of the steps. There are many times when I see these anomalies, it's as if my eyesight glitched. You see something there, but before your brain can comprehend what you saw, it disappears. When recording, the camera will at times capture apparitions and other anomalies. However, some of these captures are so fast, unless you slow the recording down, you'll never see these captures in the recordings. This is a good example. When this apparition was captured coming from behind a hutch, another apparition was also captured. I don't normally point this out in the video. Some viewers will write this off as pareidolia. I personally don't believe this is pareidolia because of the features are too distinct. This is a young girl with long blonde hair. We have seen this apparition appear multiple times throughout these investigations. Some of these captures were pointed out in Ghost Chronicles Chapter 3. I personally believe this is Abby. But why are these spirits or entities in the bedroom? Are they trying to tell us something? Are some of them hiding something and are trying to scare us off? Or is there something in the bedroom that draws them here? What I saw under the bedroom floor was directly under the stain on the floor.
I think what's really, really strange is what I found under this floor is right under this spot on the floor. And under this table. Now I know exactly why these damn things have been in this bedroom.
I now know this entity did not jump under the bed but went under the floor. Throughout time, many people have claimed to have seen small evil-looking entities. Some call these entities imps. There was a day I would never believe anything like this existed, and these were made-up stories with people with overreactive imaginations. I now know these creatures are not a myth. Some have described these entities having a long tail. If you look closely, what was captured in the front yard appears to have a long tail. What was under the floor looking back at me has a strange gray face.
That damn thing was right under the floor looking right at me and I didn't even see it. I don't see anything in here. I mean, this has been gone through with insulation put in. I mean, not unless it's down in this floorboard somewhere.
But why are these creatures here? What took place in this house that opened a gateway allowing them passage into our realm?